Yes, everybody, welcome back to Football United TV. I'm joined by a very special guest, Eddie's Football Waffle. We are here for United Across the Globe, where we talk all things Man United. But first of all, here's that intro. Yes, everybody, welcome back to United Across the Globe. I'm joined by a very special guest, Eddie's Football Waffle. Eddie, mate, how you doing?
Yeah, man, doing okay, Matt. It's finally good to be on your channel. We've done some shows before on other people's channels, so it's good to have my debut. And it's a good vibe on your channel. I've watched it before, and people got to hit that like button just for that intro alone. That I was just vibing to the samba music and the graphics. Yeah, that's some professional stuff there, lad.
Got to thank Talk for that. Big up to him because, he sorted out most of our graphics back in the day. Mate, your debut. Thank you so much. Finally, as well. I actually assumed that we'd already done shows on here before because, like you said, we've done shows with Football Power Hour, maybe the Man United Gender, etc. And glad to have you on, mate. And this is unfortunately going to start off with a bad conversation, mate, because of what happened on Saturday. But before we get into it, I need to share to everybody the partnership we have with Galasso Kits, which basically does retro kits from 2022-23 Rangers, Uruguay 2021 Copa America, kits from all over the world from many different clubs. And if you watch the Feta show, there is a special promo where you can get discount on your kits. So go check out last night's Brazilian chat on the Feta show with Marley, Johnny, etc. And yes, go check out Galasso Kits if you can, please. There we go. GalassoKits.com, promo code in the show. Get yourself a discount on a very lovely shirt indeed. Right, let's get on to the topics, mate. And yeah, this is a horrible one to start with, mate, but we've got to get it done, haven't we? 2-0 defeat to Spurs. Eddie, what happened? How can you explain what happened to United there on Saturday?
Mate, I mean, there's just so many things going through my mind. I mean, we've seen other people's shows, we've seen the fallout. First of all, I've just got to address, like, everyone's going to have their own opinion, but like certain fans that are just forgetting what Ten Hag's done last season in terms of having credit in the bank. And then people are saying Ten Hag out already, saying we got like no identity. It's like, okay, for those 2 games we played, it seemed like things are falling apart. But we have pressed for the most part in like last season. We've seen counter press. We've seen more fluidity in players switching different positions. So it's like, it's not, completely tragic. It's looking tragic, but it's not. But in terms of this game, it was bad. It was bad. I mean, overall, it wasn't bad. We heard the manager came out in a post press conference was saying the first half was good. Yeah, no, there's a lot of fans didn't want to hear that because of that second half just pretty much erased it. But it was a good first half. Maybe Rashford should have scored. If we have a striker that can know when to chip the ball, because I think he should maybe have chipped the ball for the chance he had.
Yeah, and there was that Fernandez header as well, which could have gone in, right?
Yeah, I mean, Bruno was doing Rabonas like for crosses to Rashford as well. So we were on it with chance creation. I was like, okay. I was thinking, okay, we got some play going here. We're gonna, after the 0-0 first half, we're gonna grow into the game now. And then all of a sudden we just fall off. It's almost like a reverse of what used to happen under Ole, because we used to play a shit first half and then show up in the second half. But now it's like reverse. Like it's so ironic what's going on. So I don't know. Maybe Ten Hag needs to somehow get this hairdryer from Sir Alex Ferguson. I don't, you
Yeah,
know,
what
he
do you
needs to
think
do
it
his
is,
own
Eddie? Do you
homework.
think that the players are disruptive? Do you think that they're not really following what the club means and what it represents? Because you hear Roy Keane and the way he comes out and says like they lack character, they lack what we was talking about before we started the stream. Midfield people like him and Carrick and Fletcher that would literally do anything for the club and the shirt. Do we lack that in our first team at the moment? Do you think?
Um, 'cause, just looking at it for 2 games, yeah. For me, what I've seen, I don't think it's the commitment. Like I've heard people say we look leggy, and I think it may be a fitness issue, but I'm not sure why a well done preseason, because we played some good games. I think the first 3 games we did well, and then next 3 games we lost and it wasn't that good. But it's like that should have been getting the fitness up. So I'm not sure why we look jaded in terms of commitment. I just don't see why the players would fall off like that, because we've seen, yeah, that we won a cup. We weren't supposed to win a cup last season.
Yeah.
That gives players that kind of foundation for the winning mentality. That should be in there. We were competing on almost all fronts last season, right? So the hunger was there. So I can't see it being a commitment thing, because if you're winning the Carabao Cup, which is like the first cup in like 5 years, you're thinking, okay, that's the stepping stone to go and win more. So I don't see why people would be like, oh no, let's drop off. Maybe it might be down to the tactics, yeah, and that's what I want to talk about. Is the tactics just seem off? We've heard people talk about it. I don't get the midfield balance. I mean, we heard Ten Hag saying, okay, we want to be one of the most effective transitional teams, yeah? So basically, Ten Hag's maybe adapting to the team and seeing that we're stronger at the counter-attack kind of thing, yeah? But we've seen that when you come against teams that want to play ball, yeah, you're going to be suffering and sitting back. We saw in the second half, we were just camped in front of our box for a lot of the time. Bissouma, by the way, was looking like a next level boss in there, man.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, looking like a combination of Kante and Zidane. Like it just a hybrid, insane. That Sarr who scored the goal as well, looking awesome. And it just brings me back to the Wolves game as well, where we're just getting outplayed in midfield. I think the tactics are off where, because we have Mount and Bruno, don't we, as the number 8s, but they turn into number 10s, and then they vacate the midfield. So okay, that's supposed to help with transition, but it's like you got so much space in the midfield if you get countered. I don't see why Ten Hag doesn't see that. I would say, just to finish off on your question, yeah, I don't think it's a commitment thing. I think it is a tactical thing. I think, yeah, the players, they've just fallen off the balance. I don't understand the balance of what Ten Hag wants to do in there.
Do you think Mount has been played in the wrong position as well? I'm hearing that from people that specifically Chelsea fans, for an example, saying that Man United haven't played him in his right position in the last couple of games. So I wonder what's going on there as well, possibly.
I was trying to remember where Mount played, right? Didn't he sometimes play on the right side of like a front 3 sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was like a number 8. But do you think maybe he's putting him a bit too forward for Man United? Is that the case?
But he can play 10 though. That's the thing. He can, because I've seen him play there for England. I don't think he works as well for England, but that is in his repertoire of playing a number 10. I just think because we've got Bruno in there, I think they seem like, you know when you got 2 magnets and you link up the identical sides and they just repel.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like now. We're just getting that kind of chemistry, which is breaking down. They're just too similar, so they're occupying similar positions.
Yeah, it's like kind of having 2 strikers that are exactly the same up top. You wouldn't, would you? You'd have a tall one, and you'd have someone to knock the ball down to. You know what I mean? Like you'd have a different striker if you did play 4-4-2.
Exactly, because sometimes with that kind of partnership, yeah, you need someone coming deep to hold the ball up and then get it to the other forward who's making runs in behind. Yeah,
Yeah, you
we
couldn't
don't.
imagine having two Kevin De Bruyne's playing in the same sort of position. It wouldn't work, would it?
Pep would never allow that. Pep would never allow, because he knows, yeah, the balance would be off. He wouldn't have someone that's linking up the play.
Exactly.
Like I
Yeah.
was saying to you backstage before the stream, our midfield cries out for a conductor. We've been crying out for this actually since Fergie days as well. Back when we used to have to play Giggs in midfield or O'Shea. It's like this has been a legacy of our director of football is not, getting this right talent ID, because we need that player that can link Casemiro's play to the trans creator, which is Bruno. And that's not Mount, is it? I heard Mount had, what was it, 14 passes for the whole game, something ridiculous. That's not a conductor. It was something low like that. I don't know if that's actual
It's not great,
tally
is
of
it?
his passes, but it's like if you're not passing the ball in that midfield, you're gonna suffer. And Ange Postecoglou at Spurs, man, he's got to get a pat on the back, because
I was going to ask you actually, Eddie,
yeah,
about looking at it from the other side about Spurs. They lost their talisman. Everybody was going, "Oh my God, it's Spurs like going to finish lower than what they did last season. They're going to be like 10th, 12th," and they look like rejuvenated just from probably the manager and the fact that they know what their future holds now. Now the Harry Kane's saga's
yeah.
dealt with.
Oh, just saying, if you lose Kane, yeah, he's the best forward that's been in the Prem for like the last 5 years, or you could even say a decade. I can't remember how long he's been playing, but it's like if you lose that player, you change your manager. You're not supposed to look this good already. How have we allowed them to already look like they've had like a season of getting used to like this whole dominating the play? They're a bit like us. They've had so many seasons of playing that pragmatic football where you would think, okay, it's going to be a mad teething process for them to be knitting the ball in midfield. Basuma and Sarr were looking like world beaters, like they could play at Real Madrid or Barcelona. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ange Postecoglou. I've seen. So I don't even really watch press conferences, but I was watching Ange Postecoglou in this press conference, and he just seems like a man manager as well as a tactician. So maybe he's communicated that message well, where they're just picking it up already.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well. The fact that he's only been there a certain amount of time, and he's had to deal with all this rubbish and from the media about is Kane staying, is Kane not staying, and yet he still managed to get the squad playing to the strengths that he likes to see. Yes, I think he's looking at it with Tottenham is they're not expected to. They might not get top four, but they're going to play better football, and I think that's what the Spurs fans want. And he showed that against us, and yeah, we did look weak, mate, honestly, and. I think a little bit of fitness as well. If you could see like who was getting to the ball with the last two games as well, the Wolves players were getting there quicker, and
yeah,
I don't know. I think fatigue a tiny bit has something to do with it. Not the whole spectrum of it, but they do look like some of the players look like they're still on holiday.
that's weird, man. It's weird. I just want to ask you as well, man. Like, because we talked about the midfield balance, that stuff. It's also like the front three as well. Like, what's your interpretation of what Ten Hag is doing with his front three?
I'm impressed with him, like trying to give Garnacho chances. I certainly do. I'm a bit annoyed as well about the fact that Rashford's moaning about playing striker at the moment. You've got to do your part for your team, mate. Unfortunately, Højlund's out. We haven't got anybody at the moment. You got to get on with it. Like you said about Giggs having to go in central midfield sometimes when he got a bit older. He did it because he wanted to play for Man United, no matter where. If Alex Ferguson said, "Look, I can only put you left back," he would have probably gone, "That's fine by me, as long as I'm on the field." So I don't understand Rashford's theory of like not liking to do his part for the team by playing striker at the moment. But with the front,
you know what, Matt? Can I just say real quickly?
Yeah.
I think that's been sensationalized a little bit, because we did see in the interview with Gary Neville, that's where he was really saying, "Okay, don't really like to play down the middle, prefer on the wing." Yeah, we've seen last season Rashford could play up through the middle, right? There was times where he was even scoring headers. He was scoring headers. He doesn't score headers.
Was it his best season last year for goals for Man United?
I assume so. It seems like it is.
He
Man.
played down the middle, right?
majority of the time it was going down the middle because we were
What's his
suffering from
problem?
second.
I don't understand. Like, you were scoring goals and you were really good. Like, one-on-ones, like balls over the top of the defence. He was pretty much scoring 9 out of 10. And now he wants to go back on the left wing, where you see him where he sometimes struggled to get past players, and he seems to struggle with making the correct pass. And that's what I want him to be at this moment in time, one-on-one with goalkeepers, because that's where I feel he's most dangerous.
Yeah, just like a bit like Jamie Vardy, where it's just like no real time to think, instinctive.
Yeah,
Get the ball. Okay, I'm finding the corner. Bang. That is Rashford's game. Yeah. So for me, I think it's also not just down to Rashford up front. I think it's like the service as well.
yes,
Yeah.
I completely
the
agree with
wingers,
that.
man. I don't get, like, if we're doing the transition thing, yeah. I thought, because we were trying the false nine as well, remember, during preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was as a potential. Sancho got a goal, against Arsenal as well. He was doing all right. I thought, okay, Sancho is going to be like the kind of guy that can service a Rashford that would play on like as a left forward, because he likes to cut in and shoot. And Anthony, he loves to cut in and shoot. So why not have him as a right wing forward? Like, basically just does that, cuts in, shoot straight away, like a Mo Salah. So it's weird that we've not done that kind of thing. So yeah, just going back to the original point, yeah, just the wingers, what they've done is can we even remember what Garnacho's done to service Rashford? I can't remember.
Not
Anthony, yeah,
at all. Not at all.
Anthony service into Rashford. Can we remember real, like, key chances?
I mean, I think with Garnacho that he'll be able to adapt to learn that. I think it's difficult when you're trying to service a player that isn't actually going to be that striker. I don't know whether it might work differently if Højlund is in there. Do you know what I'm saying? So maybe it's to do with like who you're interacting with when you're playing on the field, and it's very difficult because Garnacho, for me, I think last season was probably better off coming off the bench.
Yeah.
When he has been starting, but unfortunately, if you're going to give someone their chance when they've done so well coming off the bench in last season, you've got to give them their chances, isn't you? Same with Palestri. It's nice to see him being played every now and then, but yeah, I don't know, mate. I'm not really confident on Anthony. I'm not confident Sancho's going to make it this season. Like you said, with Sancho preseason, seems to do it, and he looks well. You're like, okay, like maybe this will be his season. It looks promising, and then when it comes to Premier League, it just, I don't know. I don't understand. It doesn't seem to cut.
It's weird, man. But going back to like what you said about Garnacho, because I'm just thinking. Okay, yeah, he was doing good with his substitute cameos. Yeah, you're thinking, okay, he's building credit to get some starts. But after what we saw against Wolves, I was almost embarrassed, really, when I was watching. Oh, it was like 99% of the things he was doing was just wrong for like the 60 minutes or 70 minutes he played. For me, that was way too much of an indicator to show that he's not ready. Yeah, because you could just see his body language. It just went down. He looked like an academy player out there. Yeah. And you could give props to Ten Hag for saying, okay, go again, Garnacho. I believe in you for the second game. But what with it, I didn't see hardly any improvement in the second game as well. I think you should definitely have taken them out of the firing line and gone for a Palestri. I keep saying as well, other shows I've been on, I keep saying, like, Palestri's got World Cup experience, right? He's played for Uruguay. He's been on loan, La Liga, played whole seasons with like Real Sociedad. This guy should be getting more chances ahead of Garnacho. I think he's being disrespected. I think that's got to be a change for the next game. We're going to get into the next game, but I would already say that.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate, on that, and we will get into that. Let's read some comments out, mate, because maybe we might be able to answer a few things on this subject before we move on. Matt Bassett, evening.
We got Matt.
Bart is a serious fan. Love that name. United need a six who can control the tempo and assist Casemiro from time to time. And you were saying Amrabat, weren't you? Would like to see.
Well, yeah, okay. I was going to say it's nice to see Bart. He normally trolls when I've done streams before, but he just, like, lately just comes up with just real points. Like, he just, it's almost like he does support United. He's meant to be a Liverpool fan, but
oh, really?
Yeah. He does
that's a very nice comment from a Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
Actually having some interest in Man United's number 6 potentially. That's good.
Yep.
Big up Matt and Eddie. Hope you're good, both bros. Yes, Matt.
Nice
Bart
one,
also says, does Eric deserve any criticism for signing players who have played in the Dutch league previously, barring Casemiro?
We've got to look at Anthony because we spent that much on him, right? And I know people say, oh, okay, don't blame the player for the price tag. We could have gone him for 50 million, so you got to blame maybe the director of football for being sloppy or whatever. But it's like, is he even looking like a 30 million player, 20 million? He's not. For me,
at the moment,
I can't tell who's better out of him and Garnacho right now. That should not happen. So
yeah,
we've got to look at him.
And I'll even say Garnacho. I would at the moment. I'd say Garnacho's done a bit more than what he has. Wouldn't you agree? I think Eddie's gone though. Eddie's gone. All right, he'll be back in a second. I'm pretty sure, Eddie. There he comes. Are you there, mate?
I'm here, but my camera has given up.
Frozen. It's all right. It will come back, mate. It will come back. Last season, United collected 4 points in the league versus teams in the top 9 away from home. Bart also says Bruno and Mason are good players but lack positional discipline, so they cannot play together. Actually, Eriksen, Bruno, and Mount are all 10s. Essentially, while the squad has no backup CDM. Right, okay, I understand that. Mount played right wing on a front 3 and number 10 for Chelsea. All right, okay. So we say number 10 then, Eddie.
Sorry, say that again. I'm trying to sort my camera.
Oh, no, that's all right, mate. Yeah, they're saying he was a number 10, Mason Mount.
yeah. He should be able to play there, but I think, like we said, but like we were saying before, the whole Bruno thing is just throwing it off.
And he says Chelsea finished 12th last year. That's terrible, wasn't it? And look, and Mount was a bench player pretty much last year. He was an impact player, even though he didn't have much impact for the club, did it? Right wing in a 3 behind the striker in a 4-2-3-1 formation. Nunes, Neves, etc. How many conductors have we been linked with? Quite a lot. A lot of them have probably now gone to the Saudi League. It's too late. You're never going to get them back on a good contract. Amadou Onana is a better long-term option as each of United CMs or CDMs except Maino and Mount are above 26. Has Casemiro declined physically? He still has 4 years on his contract. Yeah, what is he? 31 years old, I think, maybe turning this year or already turned. I still think there's a few more good years in Casemiro. We saw a brilliant year from him last season. I'm not really sure what's happened at the start of this season. I mean, it's only a couple of games, of course, but he has made some very bad errors, huge mistakes in the last couple of games. So I don't know with Casemiro, to be honest. Really up in the air. Having huge problems with the old video there, mate, aren't you?
I might just come out and then come back.
Absolutely fine, mate. Give it a try. Yeah,
I'll be back in a minute. Yeah, sorry about this, guys.
No worries. Technical problems always happen, mate. Any news on Martial going Saudi Arabia? I haven't actually seen anything, to be fair. He's injury prone, though, isn't he? I mean, look, the Saudi Arabia want to spend money on someone who literally gets injured every 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, yeah, fair enough. He'll attract people to come and watch the Saudi League because a lot of people do like Anthony Martial, and especially playing for Man United, he's got a lot of fans behind him, even when he is as injury prone as he is. But it'd be nice, wouldn't it? Because they probably give us a little bit more money than we probably expect for Martial, and we can maybe invest that back into the team. I'm concerned about our next few fixtures. I can't remember who we got now. We got Nottingham Forest, haven't we, Matt? We will talk about that at the end. Hopefully Eddie's camera gets sorted out. So what we'll do right now, ladies and gentlemen, is we'll go straight into the next topic, which is transfer panic buy. Now, we all know what kind of happen. Here comes Eddie. There we go. He's here.
Oh.
Welcome back, bro. It's all right. Technology, I know exactly how it is, mate. I've been on a stream once, right? And I was hosting and nobody else could like use the controls. And my computer just died. So I just left everybody in my stream on their own.
Oh, no.
And it took me about 5 minutes to come back. And I was like, oh, what's going on? But anything could be going on right now. So,
That sounds like a nightmare, man. Like, because you're hosting as well. Like, I feel bad as a guest, like, but as the host. Anyway, I'm sure you got past it anyway, isn't it? So that's cool.
No, it is. It happens, mate. You know what I mean? We're good at what we do, Eddie, but we're still amateurs. Do you know what I mean? We haven't got the Sky Sports sort of situation going on, have we? We got a team of people around us with cables and duct tape. Yeah,
even they have some glitches sometimes as well. Anyway,
absolutely. I mean, they can be rubbish, and they've got all them people behind them, Eddie, and they can still be rubbish. It just goes to show you can't always get it right. So yeah, we're going on the next topic now, mate, which is transfer panic time. And I was saying, we know what happened last year when we had a bad start. The owners pretty much panicked and were like, right, we need to try and get in Casemiro, and we got in a few other players also around that time. What do you think, mate? Do you think it's going to happen? Do you think we're going to be going for people that we've been linked for in the past, people like Rabiot, etc.? And is this good? Like good to panic buy, maybe even Galactico players? You know, players that we wouldn't expect to be linked at the moment. Is there anyone on your mind that you think, oh, that could happen?
All I can see is Amrabat. That's all I can see right now because of the strong link we've had to him. The guy's shown he can play at a top level. I mean, playing at a World Cup, right? For a team where Morocco they've not really done anything in their legacy for the World Cup, right? And he was looking like their best player. He was conducting the midfield. Like, he's tenacious, as we were saying before the stream, but at the same time, I'm sure there's a stat saying that he had like some of the highest playmaking stats for Fiorentina last season.
Serie A,
yeah. So that's playmaking. That's what we need. Yeah, not just like pure chance creation. Like, because playmaking for me, I interpret that as you make a key pass even before the goal, even before the assist happens. For me, that's playmaking as well. And I remember the last game I saw Amrabat in against West Ham. In the Conference League final. By the way, Fiorentina were robbed, but you know that happens in football sometimes. When you play a counter-attacking team, you get robbed.
Sorry, West Ham fans, if you're watching.
they know. But yeah, for me, Amrabat was bossing that midfield, yeah, and he was looking way better than Rice, who's just gone for 100 million. Right? Obviously, we don't want Amrabat to be going for 100 million, but this is the guy we need because he was dominating. He's dominated midfields in big games. That's what we need for the Prem. We need someone with that mentality that's going to come in. Yeah, is gonna just dictate, have that energy as well. So for me, Amrabat is a no-brainer. I forgot what his value is. What's his value right now?
They're wanting maybe around 45 to 60, maybe million euro, 60 million euros. So maybe that's about 50 something million pounds. Because they know we're desperate. They know we're desperate, you see. And they know that Liverpool are chasing on a little bit. They're trying to find out whether he might want to go to them as well. So there might be a bit of a bidding war going on for Amrabat.
You see, we need Liverpool to piss off because we don't have these new sugar daddies and these new takeover owners who would just like they would blow FSG out of the ponds, right? Because they'd have all the millions and all that. We know Glazers, they're stingy. They don't know whether they're coming or going. So are they really going to beat Liverpool in a bidding war? I'm a bit worried that.
Well, Chelsea seem to beat them every time, don't they?
I'm glad Chelsea are not in for him. We're losing that.
We'd be well out of that. Yeah, they'd probably give about 200 million, and he was only about 50 million. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the reason why Liverpool have been linked, it might be a media thing just to hurry up Man United to get this deal done. You know, you're hearing that your rivals are going in for someone. You know, like with the Man City thing and Ronaldo, when there was a thing made in newspapers about Ronaldo potentially going to Man City, and then as soon as you heard that, man, you're like, no, we've got to stop that. Let's go in, let's get him, and it happened. I feel it could be a similar thing where Liverpool are being used to make Man United hurry it up and get it over the line. So let's hope that's the reason why, and let's hope they don't get him, because that'll be a
thought the loss.
face.
Sorry, I thought the loss we just had would have been something just to hurry Man United up. I expected Amrabat to already be signed now, like just, you know, almost just signed, like when you get something off Amazon and you get it like overnight shipping, first class, man. That should have been Amrabat should be in Man United right now. Straight
You know
away.
what happened? We'll get Rabiot instead. You'll see it tomorrow on the.
when you keep saying Rabiot, that's just
he seems to like him, Ten Hag, doesn't he? I don't know why, but he seems to like the player. He's tried to get him from Juventus already, mate. Honestly, and just because he hasn't wanted to leave Juventus. This is the only reason we haven't got Rabiot. Otherwise, we'd have him.
You see, Matt, this is where for me directors of football work, yeah, because we've already seen with Anthony, it's kind of a bit iffy, and then Mason Mount. I don't know how many people are like just like doubting the signing. I am myself as well. So it's like this is where the director of football sometimes knows better than the manager, and he should know what player should be good for the identity of the club. It's like we're almost relying too much on Ten Hag's little black book right now. And Rabiot, for me, I mean, I'm a person, I like to see a conductor, and that's what the midfield's crying out for. Rabiot, I've seen him play for France. I've seen him play maybe a little bit for Juventus, and a lot of his play just seems like he's one of them holding midfielders that just literally he just holds his position. No real dynamism in terms of carrying the ball, things like that we need. I just see him being like almost a French McTominay if he comes in. Like, I respect that Ten Hag is the coach that knows more than all of us as fans, but sorry, Rabiot may be a deal breaker for me, bro. I don't know if I can watch.
No, I'm going with you, mate, and I do understand that whole theory of like if the manager wants him, fair enough, and I have been like that, but some of these are a bit eyebrow raising, mate. I don't understand why you go for Rabiot, who's at a Juventus team that hasn't done good for a few years. He hasn't really been doing anything. And you said it yourself as well. Statistically in Serie A, Amrabat is well ahead of him. As a player overall on stats, etc., he's more impressive. So I'd definitely go for Amrabat over him. And it'll probably be cheaper as well, because the wages that Rabiot will probably want at Man United is going to be at least 200 to 300. And I don't think Amrabat will ask for anything near that at all. It can't be on a lot of Fiorentina to be perfectly honest. It's got to be at least 70,000 or less, isn't it? I don't think he's on any more than that, because Serie A can't afford to really give hundreds of thousands for players at the moment. Let's see what the comments say. Then we'll move on to the last topic, because we are nearly almost up. Is Anthony Herbert here? Big up Matt and Eddie. You missed Maguire from the poll. Oh yeah, crap the bed. We got a poll up. Who will be top goal scorer for Man United this season? And so far, Rashford's on 33%, Højlund's on 50%, Garnacho's on nothing, and Casemiro's on 17%.
Wait, Casemiro was in there for top scorer?
Yeah, because who else would you pick? I don't know. Bruno Fernandes? I don't know. I think Casemiro got more goals than Bruno last season, possibly.
Really?
People think Casemiro's third on that list. Who would you put on the list if it weren't those four, Eddie?
So you said
Rashford, Højlund, Garnacho, and Casemiro.
Wow. So you're not even looking at Anthony, the guy that always cuts and shoots.
We did a poll yesterday on the Brazilian chat about who will be like a Premier League legend that's a young talent from Brazil right now, and there was lots of votes. He got no votes at all. Even from Brazilians were like, I don't see him doing very well at Man United. It's not going to work for him.
Wow.
And how many goals he scored last season? It must have been about 3. maybe 3.
It was something like that. But I remember like the goal against Barcelona was quite good. Like,
yes.
Oh yeah, the one against Nottingham Forest. I forgot if that
Yeah,
was
and the first game, wasn't it the first game he played for us? Was it one of the first games against Arsenal? Didn't he score a good goal?
I think that was his debut, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was his debut. Yeah, not our first game, his first game. Yeah. And I thought, wow, what have we got here? Do you remember? No, I haven't seen anything good since. Not really, apart from the Barcelona thing. But
I would say, even though he has been stinky, there's like, because he's got the hunger or the instincts to shoot, and we've seen that he can score in some big games. I would say he should have been on your poll at least for like a top scorer. Because
I know I put him in one yesterday, and I felt so bad to give him another 0%. And Garnacho, I think I don't know. I've people expect Garnacho to do better than him this season. I mean, they expect it, whether actually it will happen or not. I mean, it's a battle between the two, like you said. It's hard to pick between the two.
Yeah, who else? That would be embarrassing if that happens as well.
Yeah, of course.
This is where Anthony needs to be inspired to really do what he's done in the Eredivisie. Also, people like Sancho as well, because for me, I think he should be embarrassed from last season, where people are looking at Garnacho being ahead of Sancho. Yeah. He's literally battling with Garnacho still for starts right now. So I think Sancho should be a shout as well. Like, especially if he gets given that false 9. We've seen Firmino, he was cooking the false 9. Obviously, he was getting more assists, link-up play than goals, but he was still bagging some goals. So, for me, Sancho should be a look in there. But if you're going to just ask me who I think will get like top scorer, it's if we do go with Rashford in his favourite position of like just bagging goals in off the left, if we go with the system of false 9, Rashford on the left, maybe Anthony or Højlund on the right, so those two are wing forwards, I'm saying Rashford is top scorer again.
I think he's Højlund's winning it at the moment, but Rashford is in second place, so you might be right about that at the end of the season, mate. We'll see. I think that Ten Hag may do an Arteta by trying to build United from scratch. Arteta finished 8th in the season after winning the FA Cup.
I don't think they're going to do it, because if he was going to do the from scratch thing, we wouldn't have seen that he's trying to do this transitional football, right? Because that's what but what he's basically doing is adapting to the core of the team, to the core of what we've been doing for the last 5 seasons, right? Counter-attack merchants. So I think that, because why would you get in Mason Mount if you're gonna, do some of this total Dutch football, which I expected we were gonna do, this whole, dominating the ball, dominating possession. But it's like, nah, we just spent 60 million on a transitional player at Mason Mount. It's like Ten Hag's got to see it through now. Like, there's other players he's bought as well, where it's like, I don't see it happening where we just do a pure total Dutch football system. That would have been nice, but
I don't know, because I mean, who is it? West Ham are trying to buy a few players from Ajax, aren't they, at the moment? Alvarez and Kudos, and obviously Arsenal have bought Timber recently from Ajax. So there is a lot of decent Dutch players coming out, but as we saw with Donny van der Beek, doesn't always work. Last season, after losing to Brentford, United bought Casemiro, who turned out to be a stellar signing. It's time to repeat it by getting a backup striker, right centre back, and central midfielder, maybe a right back too. And Matt Bassett says 25 to 30 million for Amrabat. See, you hear conflicting things. I have heard a lot. It's a lot more, because Fiorentina do know that they can get money out of Man United. It's Man United at the end of the day. If they come knocking at the door asking for a player, you're gonna add on at least 10, 15, maybe 20 million, aren't you? At the end of the day, look what happened to bloody Højlund, for example. He wasn't worth that.
Yeah, definitely wasn't. But Amrabat, definitely worth that. And then if it's an extra 20 million, if like you're saying 50 million, I'd still say 50 million for Amrabat.
50 million, I would. If you got Mount for 55, I'd take Amrabat for 50 or 45 million, which I think it's about 55 million euro. I saw, but Matt, honestly, that could be true. So I'll take that. I'll take that every day. Okay, just to end off then, Eddie, just talk quickly about Nottingham Forest game coming up and what you think the scores will be.
Can I just talk a bit about the team before I do my
Yep.
my prediction?
No,
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
I have been saying it, like I've alluded to it earlier, but it's like I gotta reinforce it. Yeah. Okay, Ten Hag. Maybe you're watching. I don't know if you are, bro, but
I
you've
wish.
got to subscribe to Football United TV.
Yeah, please,
Yeah,
Eric. Come
Mr.
on.
Hogg.
Let's have an interview
But
as well.
yeah. But
Come
Mr.
on.
Ten Hag, Mr. Ten Hag, you have to go for your plan B that you did in the preseason. We have to see some false nine business now, because what's been tried in the previous games, it's having people saying Ten Hag out. Yeah, we got to change it now. So I'm thinking Sancho's got to start false nine. Yeah, we go Rashford on the left, like I said, left wing forward. Anthony, time to up your game. Garnacho's got to come out, take him out the firing line. The midfield, I would like to see Mount come out. Obviously, Casemiro, Bruno's the captain, he stays in there. It's a question of who you put in for a Mason Mount.
Is Ericsson fit at the moment, or is he still unable to start?
He's getting some cameos, right? He played 25 minutes in the last game.
Yeah, but he's got to be starting for us after the season he had last year. Some of those passes he made, we're lacking a little bit.
Yeah, so it's hard, isn't it? Because sometimes you see with Ericsson, he doesn't really have the legs,
I know, right? He's getting older, isn't he? It's a problem.
Yeah. So it's like the other guys like McTominay that we could play.
He wants to get rid of him though, Ten Hag, doesn't he? So he's not. It's weird. It's like he doesn't really want to play him, but he might actually have to keep him. He might actually have to play him. Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. If he doesn't drop any midfielders, just tell Mount to like drop back a bit. I mean, he did it in the Spurs game a bit, but Mount's got to be told to get on the ball and do more passes. Yeah. Okay. So that's the midfield. Help out Casemiro a bit more. The defense, I think that's just the best part of our team right now, right? I know Martinez has been off a bit, but I think that's just like it's a little bit of a blip. I think he's going to be all right. Varane's on his game. Wan-Bissaka for me is just doing his job. For me, I think he was man of the match for me in the first game. Second game, I didn't see him do much wrong. Luke Shaw maybe needs to wake up a bit, and Onana doing his thing. So yeah, big things are just changing that up front, right, and tweaking the midfield a bit. So if we do that, we're playing Forest. Yeah, we beat them. I swear it was twice in the league, twice in Carabao Cup. I think it was. We beat them 4 times in a row, and I swear we didn't concede. If we did, it would have been only 1 goal we conceded to them in 4 games. We've got to really remember that we did that, because they've looked like crap against us in all of those games I watched. I thought they were championship level. That's why, for me, I thought they were going to get relegated last season based on those games. So I think we're at home. We've got a great record, right? We're unbeaten for quite a bit of time, but we're not confident though. That's the thing. We're not confident, Matt. So
they're probably confident they might get something out of it with the way that we've been playing. That's what I worry about. What their momentum towards this game.
Our knee, he's got such a hard name to pronounce. Our knee is looking confident as well. I think he's got 2 goals already.
And they won at the weekend, right, Forest?
Yeah, they won. I forgot what team they played, but they're gonna have some confidence then. So
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I'm waffling a bit, but that's why I'm Eddie's football waffle. The score, I think it's gonna be close. I think we'll win 2-1.
I was gonna say exactly the same. I think it's going to be at least by 1 goal, and we might even go down 1-0. I think it's going to be one of those games where we go down 1-0 like in the first 10-15 minutes, and we're going to be like, for God's sake, it's going to be one of those, and then we come back and we get a 2-1 win, and it's going to build up this momentum that we need, and it's going to start off our season. That's what I'm hoping for, Eddie.
That's what we need, bro.
Thank you everybody for tuning in. We are going to finish it up right there. Eddie, thank you so much for coming on as well. It was brilliant chat, and I really do hope that we get the win this Saturday. And I'm looking forward to one. Am I looking forward to Champions League? That's another discussion. We'll have to look at who we get in the groups. I think it's next week. I think the draw, so that's going to be exciting.
I've not even thought about Champions League, mate. It's we just got to handle some business in the league right now. That's what I'm focused on.
But mate, back in the day, just to quickly finish up, when we sit in the Champions League group stage, I'd be like easily getting out. There's no problem. These days, I don't know whether we can even get out the group. Sometimes I'm like, it all depends on who we get, and that's how bad we've gone down, mate. I can't. We might make round 16 if we're lucky this season. I mean, that's from a Man United supporter, and that's crazy to even think that we'd be lucky to get to round 16.
It's a shame how far we've fallen, but you know, when you fall, you just got to climb back up. And these players, man, they got to wake up, man. They got to wake up. That's all it is.
We're going to, Eddie. We're going to, mate. Please, mate, let everybody know where they can find you on your social media platforms.
Yeah. So, first of all, thanks for having me on. I've enjoyed the show. Obviously, hit the like, subscribe for Football United TV. For myself, I'm going to be bringing some stuff out on YouTube soon, maybe some animation, you know, for Man United and, you know, Premier League. So subscribe to Eddie's Football Waffle, or you can type in Eddie's Footy Waffle. You still find me on Twitter. Type in Eddie's Football Waffle. You'll find me as well. And yeah, thanks again for having me on. And we just need Man United to start switching on. Just that's all we need, man.
We do, mate. Hopefully they will. Hopefully they will. We'll have you back on again, Eddie, in a few weeks' time, maybe, and we can rediscuss and evaluate what's happening in the next couple of weeks. And everybody, if you want to go check out Eddie's channel, the link is in the description below. So please go check him out. Please subscribe. Press like on every goddamn video if you go on there as well, please, because it really does help if you can do that. Help support the people that are doing these fan channels, because at the end of the day, fan opinion is well worthy a listen. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. We're Football United TV. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and of course here. Subscribe, like, share, and thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. And we will see you, I think, for Gunners from All Corners on Thursday with Rich from Eagle Eye Football, who will be joining Anthony and Marley. So should be interesting because obviously they're playing Crystal Palace tonight. So I'm just about to go and watch that, Eddie. Looking forward to it.
Hopefully Arsenal lose.
I hope so too. Come on, Palace. Come on, Roy.
Come on.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.